I stumbled on an article in the British Bee Journal dated 12th of October 1893. In it, William Woodley poses the question, is spraying fruit trees prejudicial to bee health? Let's find out. British Bee Journal, 12th of October 1893. Can any of our beekeeping friends give information in regard to the spraying of fruit trees, as suggested by the Board of Agriculture, if such spraying has been prejudicial to bee culture? I noticed two of the compounds are of a very poisonous nature, viz. Paris green and London purple. No time is mentioned as to when spraying is to be done. That is left to the discretion of the fruit grower, and in the present prevailing ignorance of the relation of insects and fruit blossom, it is more than probable that the fruit grower would spray his trees just as they were in full bloom, and cause death and destruction to any insect that visited the flowers after spraying. And as we know, the hive bee is the most numerous and most useful agent in the fertilization of fruit blossoms, and thereby ensures a future crop. I say we know that the beekeeper will be the one who will have to bear the loss by having his stock poisoned by the thousands. William Woodley, Beedon, Newbury.
Two synthetic greens called Scheele's green and Paris green were first introduced in the 18th century. They were far more vibrant and flashy than the relatively dull greens made from natural pigments, so they quickly became popular choices for paint as well as dye for textiles, wallpaper, soaps, cake decorations, toys, candy, and clothing. These green pigments were made from a compound called cupric hydrogen arsenic. In humans, exposure to arsenic can damage the way cells communicate and function, and high levels of arsenic have been directly linked to cancer and heart disease. As a result, 18th century fabric factory workers were often poisoned, and women in green dresses reportedly collapsed from exposure to arsenic on their skin. Bedbugs were rumored not to live in green rooms, and it's even been speculated that Napoleon died from slow arsenic poisoning from sleeping in his green wallpapered bedroom. The intense toxicity of these greens stayed under wraps until the arsenic recipe was published in 1822, and a century later it was repurposed as an insecticide.
Arsenic-based compounds were used in the 19th century as insecticides. These included Paris green, London purple, and LeadArsenate. LeadArsenate was used extensively in North America to control the codlin moth. However, there were consequences to using this substance on fruit trees. In 1925, a Hampstead family were hospitalised after eating apples they purchased from a local market. The apples were traced to a stallholder who was subsequently prosecuted. The apples contained toxic levels of LeadArsenate, and they were grown in North America. Public concern grew about the safety of American apples, and the British government even considered banning imports. As far as the impact on bees, we can answer Mr. Woodley's question by confirming that arsenic-based sprays are prejudicial to bee health. However, bees are generally repelled by these substances, so the impact is minimised. It's worth noting that the use of LeadArsenate has rendered areas of land uninhabitable for humans. In the 1930s, another compound called DDT gradually replaced arsenic compounds as crop insecticides. However, these chemicals were lethal to insects and to the birds which ate them, and like LeadArsenate, residues could work their way into the human food chain. In conclusion, it is interesting that even in 1893, a commentator was concerned about the impact of spraying on the health of bees. Whilst the use of arsenic-based compounds were not so harmful to honeybees, the chemicals which replaced them could be. The possible impact on human health was not foreseen by Mr. Woodley, but the 1925 Hampstead case put the dangers of insecticides on human health into the consciousness of the public. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. I'll have more videos coming out in the near future, so please subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. And until next time, stay well.